trying to impress her family, and she cooked a turkey for the first time, and she left the plastic wrapper on. And the family, seeing what she'd done and not wanting to really hurt her feelings, they just carefully removed the wrapper, and they said, well, it really wasn't so bad. Oh, and then there's the story about the minister who asked his congregation, how many of you are forgiving your enemies? And they all raised their hands, and well, about 80% did. Like in here, how many of you have forgiven your enemies? Yeah, well, that's effective. He got kind of lukewarm response, and he asked it again, and finally everybody raised their hand except one lady in the front row. And he said, Ms. Neely, you don't have any enemies? And she said, no. And he said, well, aren't you? She said, well, why? How old are you? And she says, well, I'm 98. And he said, well, how could you be 98 and not have any enemies? She said, I outlived them all. The bad ones died. My talk this morning is called The Miracle of Light. And the reason it's the miracle of light is because I keep getting flashlights. I keep getting these little flashlights as gifts. And I have a little blue one that I can't find, but it's my favorite one. But these just these little bitty things, and you can read a menu with them. This one, that's what it's for. It's to, like a credit card, you put it in your pocket, and then when you're at the restaurant, you can take it out and read the menu. And I love these little lights, but I've been getting them so much that I decided that there must be something about light. And so that's where the inspiration for the miracle of light. And I wanted this December to be a December to remember. I love that slogan. Does anybody tell me where that comes from? Lexus, yes. And I've been noticing, those commercials are just on more and more, aren't they? A December to remember. And that's what I really want for us. Because what I know is that there's some of you in here who just love the holidays. And then there's some of you, not so much. And what I'd like is for us to embrace Christmas and the holiday season in such a way that for those of you that love it, that it's wonderful. And for those of you that are sort of not so much, that maybe you can have a different understanding and a different thought about Christmas. And so, thinking about light, I noticed that there is the holiday, the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah, that has just started. It's the miracle of the lights. And I went online to find out about Hanukkah. Now you know that you can trust everything you read on the internet, right? Actually, the line between Christmas and Hanukkah is blurring. I hope you all read this article. It's about the merger of the two. Continuing the current trend of large-scale mergers and acquisitions, it was announced today at a press conference that Christmas and Hanukkah will merge. While details were not available at press time, it is believed that the overhead cost of having the 12 days of Christmas and the 8 days of Hanukkah was becoming prohibitive for both sides. By combining forces, we're told, the world will be able to enjoy consistently high-quality service during the 15 days of Christmaka, as the new holiday is being called. The downside is that massive layoffs are expected, while lords of leaping and maids of milking will be hit hardest. As part of the condition of the agreement, the letters on the dreidel, which are currently in Hebrew, will be replaced by Latin, thus becoming unintelligible for an even wider audience. Also, instead of translating to a great miracle happened here, the message on the dreidel will be the more generic, miraculous stuff happens. In exchange, It is believed that Jews will be allowed to use Santa Claus and his vast merchandising resources for buying and delivering their gifts. And in fact, one of the sticking points held up the agreement for the last 300 years was the question of whether Jewish children should leave milk and cookies for Santa even after eating meat at dinner. A breakthrough came last year when Oreos were finally declared to be kosher. All sides appeared to be happy. A spokesman for Christmas Inc. declined to say whether a takeover of Kwanzaa might be in the works as well. He merely pointed out, were it not for the independent existence of Kwanzaa's, the merger between Christmas and Hanukkah would indeed be seen as an unfair cornering of the holiday market. Fortunately for all concerned, he said, Kwanzaa will help maintain the competitive balance. And he closed the press conference by leading all present in a rounding rendition of "Oi, come all ye faithful." The miracle of light. And what is the first verse in the Bible? Let there be light. And God said, let there be light. Charles Fillmore says that metaphysically, that let there be light is that impression of this higher intelligence into consciousness. And so when we see let there be light, we see greater spiritual intelligence coming to us. And so that's sort of the meaning, metaphysical meaning of that. There's a Chinese proverb that reads, if there is light in the soul, there will be beauty in the person. If there's beauty in the person, there will be harmony in the house. And if there's harmony in the house, there will be order in the nation. And if there is order in the nation, there will be peace on earth. If there's light in the soul, let there be light. And my goal or my desire for each of you and for me is for there to be light, for there to be understanding this holiday season in the midst of all the hustle and bustle. And actually, with Thanksgiving coming late, there's not quite as much hustle and bustle. There's only 24 days left. Can you imagine? Going back to the story of Hanukkah. It's the story of the Jewish people, and they were living in Judea, and their capital city was Jerusalem, and there they worshiped in the temple. And for a long time, they were ruled by the kings from Syria. And they were pretty much left to worship their God, the God of their understanding, the one God. And then there was a Syrian king who came along and said, no, that won't do. You've got to worship like we do. You've got to worship all of these gods. Big sticking point. One God, many idols, gods. And so what the king did is he brought in idols, and he tore down the temple and replaced it with an idol. He put idols in front of all of the Jewish homes. As you can imagine, there was a great uprising, and the people tore down the idols, and then the army came in. And so two things happened. Some of the people just, okay, let their idols be, sort of quietly, outwardly surrendered. But there was this group of people, a group of farmers, craftsmen, teachers, rabbis, that formed together to form a resistance. And their name were the Maccabees. I don't know if any of you have heard of the Maccabees. But the Maccabees so held on to their beliefs that eventually they overcame the Syrian army. And they went back and they built the temple, and then they put up the lights in the temple, which are the menorah. You and I've seen the menorah, and I meant to have it this morning. And they went to light the menorah, and there was only one vessel of the sacred oil. And they lit the candles, they lit the lights. And the miracle is that one small vessel of oil kept the lights burning for 8 days. Kept them burning for as long as it took to press new olive oil and to do the ritual to make it sacred. A small amount of oil lasted for as long as it took. Reminds me there are other stories in the Bible about things lasting as long. The widow who had the oil that she had one jar of oil and it poured out and it lasted until it filled all the containers. There are many stories that we hold on to as part of our culture, that their significance is that God always gives us what we need, and it always lasts as long as we need it to last. So for thousands of years, Hanukkah has been celebrated. The miracle of the light. The miracle of the light that God gave them enough light. And so as you spend this Christmas season, I would like for you to look at the lights, the lights on the trees and the lights on the houses, the lights in the menorah candles. Look at it with that remembrance that light signifies that God always gives us enough. It also signifies that divine guidance and intelligence that comes from this greater intelligence that we call God. We might even let those lights signify for us what Jane was talking about this morning, the light inside of us. That there is a light inside of us that is never, ever extinguished. And I like that you brought it out and asked the children to feel that light. Because what I think happens is that they come here knowing they've got that light. And they let that light shine. And you can see it on their faces. And then what I've noticed as we grow, we sometimes lose our way. We lose the knowledge of the light inside. We forget. We get separated. And it's not that the light inside went out, and it's not that God left us. It's that we, up here, moved away from the light. And one of the things that I noticed particularly this last year, what I've noticed is that I'm beginning to see and understand something that I never understood. There's this parallel between our babies and our seniors. And the parallel what I've noticed is that our seniors are letting their light shine more and more and more. They're getting it back in touch with that light. And what I know that our goal is here at this church, one of the things like Be Peace, where we're trying to bring something into the schools, is to bridge that gap, to help children recognize their light and live out of their light, and for us to be facilitators of that light. for us to facilitate light in each other. That's our goal here. When you come here and you leave on Sunday and you feel, when we were singing that song, our welcome song this morning, my soul is welcome here. Didn't your soul feel something? Didn't your heart feel open? When you feel that that is significant to you, that is that light trying to come forth. So this holiday season, I want us to turn that light up. I want us to let it shine. I want us to be the flashlights for our world, the candles for this world. In November of 2001, Eric Butterworth wrote an article that was "Let There Be Light." And in this article, he shared the story of a man whose name is Jacques Lusserand. And he wrote that Lusserand was a brilliant scholar, a brilliant man, but he's also blind. And one of Lusserand's thoughts for the world is that education was leaving out the existence of an inner light, of an inner intelligence. He said that he became blind when he was 8. And so he had been sighted and then he was blind. And what he learned over the years was that if he would pay attention inside, if he would let his inner light, his inner sight guide him, that he didn't have problems with uneven sidewalks, that he didn't have problems negotiating the world. But it took intense effort to be aware of that inner guidance and function with the outer world. So here's somebody that's doing it because they have a blindness. And he said in reality his blindness was a gift because he would have never found that inner light. He said because he began to realize that that inner light helped him guide his physical world. And to be safe in his physical world, that he began to turn more and more to that light inside in making decisions, in knowing what the truth was. So that if someone stood up here and taught a Sunday lesson, what he would do is go inside to that inner light place and say, is this the truth? Is this a truth I can use? Is it my truth? He said he would have never learned to do that had he not lost physical sight. The purpose of the article, the reason Butterworth wrote the article was to talk about that inner light that always burns, that always shines, that is always there to guide you and direct you. And how often do we lose that? And I believe that in the holiday season, all of those commercials, all of the physical commercial rituals that we've gotten to have moved us away from remembering about the light inside. Remembering that Jesus was born to show the light. Remember one of the things that signified his divinity or his goodness to the world was the light from the stars. And that star, the star light drew the wise men to his birthplace. So what I want is for you and I to let the light inside us draw us to our birthplace inside, to that place where we can have absolutely wonderful holiday season this year and next year and every year after, no matter what is happening in the physical world. I'd invite you to close your eyes for a moment and just simply go with my words. Light is an eternal reality with no beginning and no end. So let there be light is not the creation of light back in time. It is the focusing of light that is ever present in you and in me. It is the focusing of light that is present in you here and now in this moment. And I would invite you to become aware of your breath. And as you breathe in, God is. And on your out breath, breathe out affirming, I am. And just do that slowly. Breathing in, God is. Breathing out, I am. In, God is. Out, I am. Get the sense that you are filled with and enveloped by the energy of God's light. You are one with the light. You are the light, but you did not create the light. As you breathe in, see that that light inside of you is getting stronger and brighter. And as you breathe out, see that light filling this room. As you breathe in, God is. See your light expanding inside your body, seeping out through the pores of your skin as you breathe, I am the light of the world. You are one with the light. You see the light, but you did not create the light. You are one with the light, but yet you did nothing to create it. It just is. And right now you are consciously resonating with the light of all creativity. There is light because of you. There is light by means of you. And so in your mind's eye, gently bring your attention to any place inside of you where there might be a feeling of sadness, a sense of loss, a sense of emptiness, separation, envy. Any place within inside of you that this morning feels like it could be healed, like it could be returned to wholeness. And consciously bring the light of all life to that place within you. Bathe that part of you in the light, in the miracle of light, and let it heal, restore, and return you to your innate brilliance. You are resonating with the light. It is burning brightly in you, as you, and through you. Feel this light and know that it is with you now and always. Now I invite you to bring that light to the places inside of you where there is joy and happiness, love and excitement. Bring to mind images of those whom you love, Bring to mind activities that bring happiness and joy. Bring to mind meaningful work and service. Bring all that into your consciousness and bathe it all in light. You are resonating with the light. It is burning brightly in you and as you and through you. Feel that light and know that it is with you now and forever. And now in your mind's eye, take that light, take your big, bright, brilliant beam of light and shower the world with it. Any place where there is darkness, know that your light instinctively goes there. Maybe you're seeing yourself being out in space and viewing our world from out of space. So many of us here have that image because we live here. Just beam light around and through our planet into every home. Any place where love is not present, let your light know to cover that place. Any place where there is hurt and pain, let your light wash over that. And as you do that, as you see and imagine your light washing this world, washing over the planet, know that you are consciously becoming the miracle of light in this world. You are resonating with the light. It is burning brightly in you, as you and through you. Feel this light and know that it is with you now and in all ways. And finally, bring this light of the divine into any place in you where there is a question or a pending decision or a desire for direction or a yearning to know the next step for you to take. Wherever there is a place of uncertainty in you, bring the light to it. Shine the light on it and know that this light will reveal the answer, the direction, and the next step. Whether it is revealed in this moment or in the moments to come matters not. The light of God will reveal what needs to be revealed. You are resonating with the light. It is burning brightly in you, as you, and through you. Feel this light and know that it is with you now and always. And as I draw our time of prayer to close, let my affirmations be your affirmations. The light of God shines in and through me and illumines my path. The light eternal is my God and my protection. In the light of spirit, there is no darkness at all. There is a perfect light shining from my heart, the altar of a perfect love. I welcome the light and love within me. Light shines in me and through me to illumine the way. I hold fast to the light of inspiration and illumination. The Christ light within is with me always, guiding me, sustaining me, and supporting me. I witness the miracle of light, and I say, thank you, God. And so it is, and so it shall be. In this December, I invite you to let your light shine, for each one of you to be the light in this world. Be so bright that you outshine the Christmas tree.